I'll tell you a quick story.
Mhm.
As of the very last day of classes in Tom's acting class, I had one of the most frustrating experience and most groundbreaking experience just for me personally. It was like, you know, you have some classes that are breakthroughs and you really learn something, or you feel like you're hitting a wall and then you just get it. Like you just it was an epiphany moment for me. And he called it too. He told us, he was like, all of you, I want you to take your monologues this week and aim to do them 250 times. So whatever that means, 25 times a day, 50 times a day, however it worked out. I fell shy of that. I got up to about 150. But what he said was, when you're doing it that much, everything inside you will eventually come out. And he elaborated saying, you will for sure, having to have that much discipline and take that much time and say those words that many times over and over again and spend that much time with yourself and only your thoughts and only those words, you will face your shadow self and you'll hit some kind of wall and shit will come up, and then just trust to keep working on it and keep going through that. And on the other side of that, kind of when you feel lost, something will click and you'll be like a new actor or a new person, or have just reached a new level. And that 100% happened to me. So I'm doing late night walks in Harlem here, doing my monologue 25 times, 30 times, 50 times in a night. And as of Wednesday night, I just kept having the feeling like, I don't know where this is right now. I don't have a clear vision of exactly what I'm fighting for. I don't like, and even all the imposter feelings of like, how can I be on the second last day of acting class having the most doubt I've ever had about myself as an actor? Like, what have I just done where for 8 months I'm having this like existential crisis of, do I even have a fucking clue what I'm doing right now? Which is a very common feeling amongst anyone in the art space at some point, and it ebbs and flows and it comes in waves where at some point you're at the top of the world and you're like, I can do no wrong and I'm fucking incredible and I'm so in tune with everything. I love this so much. It's perfect. Thank God I'm an actor. Thank God I'm a performer. Mixed with the occasional times of, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, why I'm doing it, why I'm here, what is happening, and am I terrible at everything? And I had that like the night before. And so, and then it started to click and I fought through it. And then so I came into class, and one thing that I learned, and this is the lesson, my easy default mode when it comes to a performer is big and loud and wild and crazy. I can do big and loud and wild and crazy like that. It's just a muscle. And I think everyone can. It's not easy. It's not too hard to yell and scream and be big and loud and wacky, like be like, look at me, I'm a crazy guy. So when I came in on Thursday, that's how I did the monologue. I was moving all over the place. I had big gesticulation and gestures and over the top vocal variation, and it was hammy. It was a little sticky. It was a little schmackty. But it's a muscle like, hey, look at me. Look at me. I'm the circus MC and this is old Larsy firing up the crowd kind of thing, which is easy for me to do. And then that lesson was, he said to me, he's like, Lars, you're working way too hard. You're doing way too much. I just need you to just stand there, find your mark, find the lens, say the words, and then we'll find those viewpoints. And it was really frustrating because it was the idea of Tom teaches us how to infuse a performance with a lot, looking at guideposts, vocal variation, and viewpoints. And then there's this magical balance of, in rehearsal, infuse it with as much as possible. Go wild, go wacky, stretch the box, stretch the thing, do everything. And then at some point close to performance, you have to bring it all back to, oh, and you're also a truthful human being in a real scenario. And I have to believe that that is who you are, and I have to see you and connect with you. So we had a coaching session where I was getting like a little frustrated with not with Tom, but frustrated with myself, and just being like, I don't know, like, help me. And I knew going into it, I was like, today's going to be a profound lesson. I know I'm going to learn something the day before we're presenting these. And what it was mainly, you can just be yourself. You can just stand there and be still and look into the lens, and you're enough without all of the, hey, look at me being a wacky, crazy guy. So it was an empowering feeling of being like, really, he spent a whole semester building us with all these moves and all these things that we can do and brilliant ways to flesh out a performance. And then on the last week, essentially told all of us, you can also just be you and be a human being, and you need to just be you and be a human being, because the character is you, right, at all times. And that's something that I've had challenges with sometimes in the past, where in my head I'm creating like some cartoon character type person as the character, and then I'm doing that, and it's a version of me, but it's not really me, and it's not really personalized, because I'm taking the script and I'm constructing a new character, rather than just taking the authentic me and then a little salt and pepper and a little spice and a little moment here and there, and find a thing here and find a thing there, and rather than this whole other wacky persona. So that class was super profound for me, and it happened on the day of. And the day before, it was like full-blown existential crisis. Like, should I even be an actor at all? Or am I going to be a producer and a writer, and I can make shit happen, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing? It was like that. It was, but followed by the most profound lesson that I had ever needed to learn throughout the entire conservatory, which is plant your feet, look into the lens, feel it, be in the moment, breathe, and don't worry about pushing too hard. Let that be in rehearsal, where you build it all in rehearsal, and then it's just in you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Mary Lou a little touched on this a little bit in her speech yesterday at your graduation, where she said there's a lot of hard days in theater where you'll feel like you don't know what you're doing whatsoever, and you push
Right.
through that, and you'll find the gold nuggets that you're looking for.
It's such a weird thing. I haven't had it that way in acting. I've had that in stand-up before, where I felt like I've had shows where I walked off and I'd be like, that was fucking fire. I was on it. Everything hit, everything landed. I was sharp. The audience was hot. We were connected. Everyone was all together. And then you have, naturally and inevitably, as a performer, especially a stand-up, you have nights where really nothing works. The vibe, you never really caught the wave. Just, you're all discombobulated and it feels gross. And you walk off stage being like, do I have any idea what I'm doing at all? And you just want to like tear your own skin off and just throw it in a loser heap of skin in the corner and be like, who is that guy? I never want to be that guy again. And it's just this weird, you don't spend too much time in that phase, but it is this weird oscillation, or this ups and downs of life, really, is what it is as well. Like, you're a performer, but you're also a human being. So it's hard for whatever you're going through in your regular life not to be informing your art, and vice versa. So if you're having an off day personally, or with relationships or health or whatever else is going on in your life, that affects your performance. So sometimes your best isn't your max best. But yeah, I don't know that I would choose anything else. I mean, I wouldn't, because I'm here.
Yeah, your journey is your journey, right?
Yeah.